This episode is brought to you by Thor's Ice Cream, the best ice cream menu in Billingham. Find them at the rink on game days and pick from their range of amazing desserts including the Biscoff brownie and the famous whippy trays, with a choice of amazing toppings. Supporters of the Stars and Buccaneers and proud partners of STARCAST. Find Thor's Ice Cream on social media.
This is STARCAST, the official podcast of the Billingham Stars. Watch and listen for the latest news from the Big Red Machine.
Hello, welcome again to your official Billingham Stars podcast. This is STARCAST from your Billingham Town Council, Billingham Stars. Craig Simpson, pleased to be joined as usual by my co-hosts Carol and Jono, here for another troll through the world of the Big Red Machine. Evening to you both. Plenty to talk about tonight. How's things this Tuesday night?
Interesting.
Very interesting. Yes.
Intriguing, interesting.
So on the agenda tonight, we've got obviously the game in Blackburn with a few side notes as well. All the results and tables from League and Cup as the Cup starts to take shape in our Morley division as well. And then a double-header weekend for your Billingham Stars. A quick return to the most versatile Chip Spice Arena in the world. Hull away on Saturday. And then Sheffield make a trip to the Forum on Sunday. It's a very special game as well. It's our last game of November, but it is also our Teddy Toss. So more on that later on. Bit of any other business coming up as well. But first, we'll get into Billingham's only game of the weekend. A trip to Blackburn, and the who ended the weekend as league leaders. They played on Saturday night, winning in Sheffield, and they were returning to home ice on Sunday. Before Billingham travelled, and we had some late news on Friday from last weekend's game against Solihull. Lucas Dowdall received a suspension for a hit on Nicholas Otterson. So that came through on Friday after the team had trained on Thursday. So put all the lines into a bit of a tiz. And then apparently on Saturday, I think Foz said in his post game, Carol, remind me, short notice on Saturday as well. A couple of players had personal matters, which meant they couldn't travel. So we ended up going to the biggest ice pad in the division with 12 skaters and 2 goalies, obviously. Yeah,
correct.
But yeah, the Lucas Dowdall, particularly galling. It was a late incident in the game, if you remember it. In the corner by the Stars bench, he was adjudged a minor penalty against Nicholas Otterson. Solihull requested that it was reviewed. They said that Otterson received a hit to the head and was dizzy and couldn't return to the ice. It was reviewed and awarded as a 5-game for checking from behind, and so assessed 2-game suspension. Just a word to Solihull. If anybody from Solihull is listening, your player on Sunday night displayed concussion symptoms. You said in your report. He played on Sunday in the game just gone. After suffering concussion, you're supposed to rest between 14 and 21 days, I believe, between symptoms.
Yep.
So one of two things. You need to pick a lane. Either you played a concussed player or you fabricate the report to get a player suspended. One of those two things will be true.
Yep.
Not for me to say which one it is. I hope for Nicholas's sake he's not concussed and you did not play a concussed player. We'll leave that to Solihull and others to judge. But enough of that shenanigans. There's a whole host of shenanigans still to talk about.
The one thing I will say in that is I think the league has to do better in getting that correspondence out to the clubs. What if that email, because it came late on Friday, what if that email, due to whatever reason, wasn't picked up till Saturday and the lad's on the bus?
Yeah, it's not good enough. It's supposed to be out on Thursday night by the league's own rules. Supposed to that notification should be out on Thursday, not Friday.
there's no excuses. Obviously, they knew there was incidents in the game due to spearing. One game, haha. But yeah, they've got to do better. They've got to do much better. Like I say, we trained. We looked at for correspondence all Thursday night. Nothing came through.
Mhm.
Trained as normal. Everything's fine and dandy. And then last minute on a Friday, you're getting kicked in the teeth, and you've got to change things rapidly. And then obviously, it got a bit worse with a few personal issues amongst the team as well. So, but yeah, the league have got to do better in that situation.
Yeah,
not their fault, but they've got to do better in getting correspondence out.
Yeah, as like you said, when teams plan and train, and then it's thrown into to jeopardy. So, so the team travelled, the fans travelled. As we say, biggest rink with the shortest bench. We like to give ourselves a challenge, but the fans travelled in numbers, and when they got there, Carol, we couldn't sit where we normally sit.
Absolute joke. I've never been made to feel less welcome in an ice rink as I did on Sunday night, and that's entirely the fault of the Blackburn management. Took it upon themselves to enforce a block rule on the away fans, which I understand they've done it with other teams, and that's fine. They've tried to do it with us before, and we said, well, we always sit here, so we're just going to sit here. And that, do you know what? That's always been fine. The cup final last year, what an atmosphere that was. We all brought the noise to Blackburn's rink to the point where their own management coaches were saying how good it was. And then they kick us in the teeth like this by saying, we're going to bring Max and Paddy along to stand on the stairs and make sure you ain't going anywhere but where we tell you. Quite happy to take our money, but you're going to sit where we tell you. Now, I tell you what, if you had even a rink even half full, you might even have an excuse to do that. But you've got 500 people rattling around a 3,000-seater rink. It's not acceptable. We've all been sitting in the same block for donkey's years, probably longer than 90% of the fans that go into that rink. It wasn't friendly. It was quite intimidating. I went down to talk to the bench as an off-ice official. I was kind of met with stern looks and you can't go down there from the security people. I will point out the security people were only sat round the Billingham fans. Now, the excuse that was given was this was for safety reasons, and an incident was cited from the cup final last year. Now, shall we just revisit that and say who was at fault there? Because it wasn't Billingham fans, that was a Blackburn fan who pegged a beer from block 4 to block 2, which is ironically where they made us sit. So why is it that you've decided that you need security for this fixture, but you're only going to put them around the away fans? Oh, and by the way, they also allowed away fans to sit in that block. So your security argument, safety argument, whatever you want to call it, is kind of out the window. It wasn't acceptable. Ice hockey is not supposed to be like that. I was talking off air about the only times we've ever been given blocks before, or made to sit in blocks before. And it wasn't even a made to. It was a couple of times in Solway and once in D-side where we knew the fans would be travelling in numbers, and it was suggested that we sit in certain places because the capacities of both of those rinks are very different, much lower than Blackburn. So it made absolute sense to do that. And the argument that we got back about us segregating Blackburn, I think you'll find that's not true either. We did the same thing. We suggested blocks for you to sit in. That was not enforced, and we did not put loads of security around those blocks either. So no, I don't think that the treatment we received on Sunday night was acceptable. And quite frankly, I don't really care if anybody from Blackburn's watching this and disagrees. In all my years of watching hockey, it was pretty terrible. And by the way, every time we go to Whitley Bay, we sit where we want. They've got more fans than you, Blackburn, and they've got a smaller capacity, and they let us sit where we want. It's not the same rivalry. Okay.
And at the end of that, the game happened, and then we came home. Any more questions? No. No, a fair point. And Carol says that the time that some Blackburn fans are referring to, again, we talked off air, that was at the request of one of the former Blackburn ownership group, I believe.
Yeah, correct.
So they got their own blocks at their request. So with that said, the game started. Obviously, we've got 12 skaters on the biggest ice in the world. If you listen to the post game, Carol had a chat with Foz in Blackburn after the result. Huge props to the guys for putting the work in for 60 minutes. They didn't get the bounces. They didn't get the look of the draw. Do you want to go into more detail, Jono, from the game side of things?
Yeah, I mean, hats off to the boys. It's all you can do. I mean, going in there for with a full squad, 4 lines, and all your D men, and even with the team we had last year, it's a tough fixture. So to go there with what we had to go up against to what they brought in this year was just an absolute incredible effort from them. Obviously, got a bit of news over the weekend that we were going to miss 1 or 2 that we weren't planned for. Adding Lucas to that as well. Personal issues, an injury, or whatever it was. It's hard to explain that effort that put in to not get the rewards. Obviously, the scoreline flatters the Hawks a bit in the third period, but don't get me wrong, they worked hard as well for the goals that they scored. But from our point of view and the work rate that we put in the scoreline, it felt like it boosted egos more than anything else on their side. It doesn't cover us in any glory in how hard we battled. They throw a 15, 16-year-old in that environment as well, and for him to get the man of the match, oh my God, what a hockey player he is. And we need to get him on the ice as much as we can while we still have him, because that kid has got a huge future.
Yeah.
But the D-call, rolling 5-6D, the forwards, 2 lines, and a bit of a mashup of a third line at times, the work rate, the effort out with this, just an incredible effort to do that on that ice. Whatever it is, whatever was said in the changing room, certainly hit home with a few of the boys, and they put in a shift and to be proud of. And I think the fans, more than anything, obviously I don't sit up in the crowd anymore, but I think the fans were probably more appreciative than ever for the hard work that was put in.
Yeah. And the second period in particular, Carol, it was 3-0. Then we scored 2 fairly quick goals, and you felt there was a bit of momentum. And then, if anything, that late goal for Blackburn, the 4th goal kind of quelled that, and it kind of took the wind out of Billingham's sails heading into the second break.
Yeah, well, when the luck's not with you, it's really not with you. And we had to endure a poor officiating performance on Sunday night. And that call that was made towards the end of the second, Lucas Campion's probably one of the smallest blokes on the ice, apparently roughing against Bobby Streetley. Okay. It was not the best call that you've ever seen. And you know, when you're given an opportunity like that, then you don't waste it. And Blackburn didn't waste it. They scored what was 7 seconds to go in the period. And after we'd battled so hard, that's a proper knocking the stuffing out of your goal. Going in the dressing room, having just put everything out there, and then you go, awesome. We're back to 2 goals down, and it must have been flat in the dressing room, understandably so. And then you go into the third period knowing that you've got to battle back, but the legs just aren't there. Some poor decision making, but that is definitely down to tired minds this time. And on that bigger ice, those little mistakes suddenly become quite big mistakes. A couple of the goals, especially poor Shug scoring an own goal, it just kind of summed up the third period, really. They'd absolutely left everything out there, and 8-2's it's not fair.
I've got to say that 5th goal from the Hawks, scored by, was it Riddick?
I think
Fifth
so.
goal, absolute goal of the night, sensational. I
Oh,
mean,
the top corner.
the top corner, that one, I think he hit the corner and went across the other side, hit the post and went in. I think that was probably the one that just ended absolutely everything.
Yeah,
It
that
was
was
an
a
absolute.
great
That
goal.
was the one that you just saw the light, the energy levels from 50%. Literally just go, yeah, we need to get off now. We're done. It went from 50 to 0 just from that one goal, and that was one hell of a goal. That wasn't anything to do with bad play. It wasn't anything to do with bad positioning. It wasn't anything to do with tiredness. It was just an absolute screamer of a goal, which happens. And like I say, I think it just zapped the life out of them. Where other goals, you could probably argue you were down to tiredness, down to mental fatigue. But yeah, I think Riddick can be patted on the back for that one because it was an absolute hell of a finish, and it kind of finished us off really as a team.
Yeah, it was. Can't argue with that. That was an excellent goal. But I think after that, you could say, was Shuggy's goal just after Shuggy's goal?
Sorry. Yeah, it was straight after one. It was like 2 goals in a minute or 2 minutes.
Yeah, and then you just see that the heads finally start to go down. Can't go to Blackburn with 12 skaters. It's as simple as that. I mean, we kind of knew walking into the place what was going to happen. You look at the team list and you go, you cannot go to Blackburn with 12 skaters. It's just. Yeah. We had a great team out there, and you could tell by the way that they battled for everything. But at the end of the day, you've got 12 against, you would argue, half a National League team. It's never going to end well.
That fourth goal was important for them as well, because I think if it goes into the third period 3-2, it means we have something to play for. We have something to start the third period with a lot of energy in our legs, and it just, I think, like you said there, I think that was a bit of a killer. And then that Riddick goal just finished us off. And it was their cherry on the top from their point of view.
Yeah. John has already mentioned Will Thornton. We'll talk about him in a minute. Obviously, Hawks debuted their new signing over the weekend because, of course, they did. And he did score on Sunday because, of course, he did. Sam Zajac, formerly of the Northeast Parish. Still, I don't know what you could say of Sam in action. Obviously, it's only second game back, wearing the number 90 shirt, which I'm sure was retired a few years ago for the fans in Blackburn. But yeah, so Sam Zajac, I don't know what you could say of him back in action. Obviously, a quality addition, which maybe another team in that division could have done with rather than Blackburn, but such as it is.
I'll be brutal. I didn't actually notice them that much, but that's nothing against Sammy Zajac because he's a quality player. It's probably I was probably more concentrating on Sunday watching our guys and how they were coping with the situation that they were in. So until they announced him as the scorer for that goal, I hadn't even noticed he was playing. But that's really nothing to do with Sammy Zajac. He's a quality player.
Yeah,
he's a massive upgrade of what they've got. For me, he's straight away their best D-man already. So obviously Gary Simpson left for whatever reason to go back up north, and then they brought Zajac in. That's just it's worked out very well for them, because even though it wasn't position for same position, he's improved their team tenfold, and he's a hell of a player. A bit like Carroll. I mean, it wasn't probably his finest game, and I don't think it would be, to be honest. First or second game back after 2 and a bit years out. But if he's playing week in, week out, he'll certainly get them somewhere near that first spot come end of the season.
No, so we'll see how he goes. And talk about, as John says, that they finished the weekend in top spot. We'll talk about the results elsewhere shortly. But as John mentioned, first and second games, Will Thornton, his first game technically was last week as a 15-year-old against then league leader Solihull. His second game now as a 16-year-old. Happy belated birthday. 16 years and 1 day, plays in Blackburn against the now league leaders. Man of the match performance. I know we've seen him come through the books and seen him come through the juniors, and we've been kind of waiting for this weekend to come. What's your? I know John, you've already had a go. Carol, Will Thornton on D. The name Thornton back on D for a start in Billingham's over the place.
I think I said at the weekend, just remember the name, because he's destined for big things. I hope it's with us for a few seasons at least. But the kid is 16 years old and already looks very, very special. Reminds me a little bit of when Finn Braden came into the team a few years ago, when we were all like, whoa, he's just turned 16 as well. I think Finn's first game was a couple of days after his 16th birthday as well. Reminded me a lot of that. It's much as he's got the family name, and actually his style of defence is very similar to Richie in his heyday, but he's got the talent, and you can tell he's going to go far. Another one off the Billingham production line, and he's got a stellar career in front of him.
Yeah, look forward to seeing him in action again this weekend. John, I know you've seen him obviously in training the last few weeks when he's been training with the seniors now, getting a chance to play. Do you think we'll see him regularly now in a Stars jersey?
Absolutely, 1,000%. You don't want to say too much, can put too much hype on him, but you just smile when you speak about him and his ability. He's an absolute phenomenal talent. I mean, he's just so calm, and he just oozes absolutely. You just think he'd been playing for 10 years the way he thinks and he approaches the game. He's just so relaxed. He's so at ease when he's defending. Adam Barnes is skating at him, and he's just at ease. He's comfortable. He knows what he's going to do. He knows how he's going to take the puck off him. And if he takes control of the puck, he already knows where the first pass is going to be. Mm. He knows when someone's going to hit him, and he's gone by the time Fat Brammer wants to come and nail him. He's gone. He's not there. And it's just crazy how his thought process at so young is so very high. Technically and ability wise, he was the best player on the ice out of both teams. Just he was that level. That level is just, it's hard to explain. I suppose when you talk about football and the great players that have that thing, you don't know what it is. They just have that thing, and yeah, he's got it. It's there to be seen. You don't want to put too much pressure on him. I would be putting him out there for 30 minutes a night every week. Just got to put him under pressure. Let's see what he can do and can't do. Yeah, because I just think he'll get better and better with every situation and every scenario. He ended up killing penalties. He was on power plays. He was the reason we scored the second goal. Just unbelievable talent. He's got a very bright future. How long that Tim Billingham, I don't know, but what a player. Don't know how this Billingham club does it, but yeah, he puts a smile on your face. When you talk about him, you talk about Matty pick up, and there's another two or three coming as well, and that's what's good about it. There's another 2-3 coming. Yeah. So in 2 or 3 years, we're ready to go again and compete for that top spot. You don't want to write the season off for the boys, but it's looking hard now. I think it's 7 losses already on the season. So we are probably battling for 2nd, 3rd, 4th to get that home advantage in the playoffs. But yeah, we've got a lot to smile and a lot to be happy about, even after a tricky period that we've had so far this year.
For those on social media, what's going wrong with the Big Red Machine? We're bringing Will Thornton through. We're bringing Matty Pickup through. We're bringing other players through. There's more training with the players, more training with the Stars at the minute who aren't quite ready to play.
You can see the names. There's Henry Stevenson, there's Dimitri Grittens. Yes, Dimitri Grittens, he's nearly there as well. Another Grittens coming through. So the talent is there. It's unbelievable.
Is he a British? He's a British Grittens, isn't he?
He's a British Grittens, this one. He's a British Grittens.
He's British junior trained.
Yeah.
Yes, he's British Grittens as well. So even just talking to Billingham fans who are listening out here, if you don't know anything about Elson, you can get to under-19s game, get to one, because the talent is there. It's going to be fun to watch in the next couple of years.
And this is what's wrong with the Big Red Machine this year. Instead of bringing players in, this is what we've chosen to do. It's what we've chosen to do for the last 5, 6, 7 years. If bring the players through, giving them the chance, which is why Finn Braden's smashing it at Leeds, which is why Tommy Spraggan's scoring goals now at Hull, which is why Robert Dowd is the JB captain eons ago. That's not quite the Stars, but still Billingham, and that's why the Big Red Machine is doing what it's doing. So yes, this year isn't going our way, but as Jono says, we will come back and we will rise and fight again. I got a bit old there, didn't it? Yeah. Well, we're talking about the Blackburn game.
Just talking about the future and what's to come. It does put a massive smile on your face, and it does want you to turn up every week, keep watching, and keep supporting, because we're going to lose more games this year. It's sport. It's the way it goes round. It swings and roundabouts. We had a 5-year plan, and we ended up dominating everything last year. We're probably in a bit of a process of another plan now. We're not going to fall off a cliff, but we're still going to be competing. But the next talent's coming through, and you're going to love watching it. You really are, and just be excited for the weekend coming. Really be excited for it, because the talent is unbelievable.
Yeah, no, 100%. So we return from Blackburn, bloodied but unbowed. They take the spoils, but we live to fight another day. Blackburn, as I say, finished the weekend on top of the league, mainly because, as we talk about results and tables, he says moving seamlessly to his next agenda item. Results from last weekend, Saturday first, Leeds 5, Widnes 6, Sheffield 2, Blackburn 5, and a bit of a barn burner in Telford. Telford 9, Hull 6. Hull were quite comfortably winning that one and then didn't. Sunday's results, Blackburn Billingham, as we've already talked about. Hull Jets 5, Sheffield 1, Nottingham 5, Widnes 7. Another goal fest down in Nottingham, the late one. And then the game of the weekend, Solihull Barons 1, Deeside Dragons 3. Big win on the road for the Dragons. The struggle on the road games for large parts this season. But yeah, upsets the Solihull Barons and knocks them off the top spot. Any of the results you would like to talk about, Miss Carol, please?
Well, playing you concussed import didn't work out for Solihull, did it? Honestly, Solihull, we give you one job and you can't even do that. Really? Anyway. Hats off to Deeside. That's turning their road form around. What can you say? Didn't expect that one. The other ones that have crept out on me, any game that Telford's involved in seems to have a lot of goals.
Yeah.
Why defend when you do not have to defend?
Yeah, just sod defending. Let's just have a goal fest. It's like watching Heineken hockey when you see a Telford Tigers 2 game. Sheffield still haven't won a game. Actually, one of the results, there's loads that we could talk about from the weekend. Well, one of the ones that seems to have slipped under the radar for me, Widnes 2 away games, 2 wins. That's not bad going. To say they had such a disappointing weekend not that long ago. Two wins against, we talk about these mini leagues, 2 of the teams in their little mini league. And hats off to Widnes. Good weekend.
Spoils. Yeah, 100%. The Telford game, I haven't got the box scores because Joe's not doing box scores because I think he's on holiday. He's not back next week. So I haven't got the full box scores from the games. But weren't Hull 2 or 3 goals up?
4-0 up.
Was it 4? Was it? I knew there were a few goals up, and then Telford did them. As we saw ourselves a few weeks ago, Telford did it. Yes. So yeah, guaranteed goals at Telford every game it appears. John, anything catching your eye?
Carol actually just took the one I was going to mention, the Widnes Nottingham one. I think that's actually a big result, more in what they're doing in Widnes. I think the fans have probably got a lot to get behind there at the moment. They're absolute chalk and cheese from last year, which is good to see. And it probably looking like that they're going to cement a playoff spot this year, and there could be a thorn on the side for someone when getting some momentum behind them, which is just probably the reason I picked that result. I think it's just good to see that they've turned it around so much. And when you look at them and how much they've turned it around from having no players at all, because we're all up in Scotland basically, it shows that the likes of what Leeds can do and give probably Sheffield some belief to say you can turn it around. Might not be this year, but I believe Widnes started to pick a bit of momentum up towards the end of last year. They started to be in a lot more games and started to turn a few more games around. And if they can do that towards the end of this season, and we're not even at Christmas yet, but towards the end of this season and change things for next year, Sheffield could be a much tougher opposition next year. But no, on the whole, good to see Widnes turning things around. They're obviously giving their fans something to cheer about. And I think they'll continue to be a thorn on the side for that little mini group. Obviously, you've got Blackburn and Solihull who are kind of away on their own. Then it's D-side, us, Hull, Telford. You could probably put Widnes into that.
I was going to say, I hate to break it. We're probably in the lower middle group at the minute because of the way things are. But we'll have a quick look at the table as things stand after the weekend. Blackburn at top of the pile, 16 games, 42 points. And Solihull, 15 games, just 9, so they've got that game in hand. D-side, 16 games played, they are on 32. Then it's Hull, 16 games, 28 points, just ahead of Telford, 14 games, and they're on 27. Then it's 6th place is Billingham, 7 wins, 7 losses, 22 points. Widnes, 7 wins, 9 losses from their 16. They're also on 22. And then Nottingham have the last playoff spot currently on 12 points. Then it's Leeds, also on 12. And on 10th position is Paul Hardcastle's Sheffield Scimitars, 19 and 0 wins. That's a pop culture reference for the young people there. 19. The cup tables, as we said last week, I think D-side have qualified from Group A. Solihull favourites to join them, but they just need to sort out the last game, Solihull versus Hull, and see who wins that.
Is it?
Join them.
Right, no. Yeah.
And that game is actually shown as TBC, so that's what the fixtures. Is it a TBC? It is a TBC. Yes. So that actually hasn't been confirmed yet. Sorry?
It needs to be before the end of January, doesn't it? Because that's when the first semi-final is.
Before the end of December, because the semi-finals are mid to late January, aren't they? So obviously we'll wait for that getting sorted out. So that's the Group A. 1 game left in that one. In Billingham's group, a couple of games left. So it's Telford currently second. Blackburn have now qualified. 8 wins from their 8 games. So Telford currently 6 games played, have 12 points. Billingham 6 games played, have 9 points. Obviously, the games left, we have Telford at home and Nottingham away just before Christmas.
Both must win.
They're on successive weekends. It's in a way it's good because you want it in your own hands, and we know 2 wins and we're through. That's basically because we get there.
I mean, just talking about the group there. If you're Blackburn now sitting at the top of your tree, and we know it's 1 versus 2 in the opposite division, who will Blackburn want to play out of D-side in Solihull? We've lost to both of them this year.
Yeah. So Solihull currently on 16. So if they win that last game, they will win the group. So it will be D-side who will be the semi-final opponent. But regardless of who it is, the last couple of cup games will actually mean something in the groups, which is good. The way it's been planned out, obviously deliberately, I'm sure. We'll take a break there. Plenty talked about so far. We'll have a quick lie down in a dark room for 5 minutes, and then we'll come back talk about the weekend ahead, a trip to Hull, our teddy pair toss game, and any other business. Thanks for staying with us. This is your official podcast of the Billingham Town Council, Billingham Stars. This is STARCAST.
This episode is brought to you by Thor's Ice Cream, the best ice cream menu in Billingham. Find them at the rink on game days and pick from their range of amazing desserts, including the Biscoff brownie and the famous whippy trays, with a choice of amazing toppings. Supporters of the Stars and Buccaneers and proud partners of STARCAST. Find Thor's Ice Cream on social media.
Welcome back to part 2 of this week's STARCAST. As we said at the top, a double-header weekend for your Billingham Stars this week. A quick return to Hull Arena, the most versatile arena, the Chip Spice Arena, whatever name you wish to give it, on Saturday evening, and then a home game against Sheffield. We'll talk about the Sheffield game a lot more in a minute. First of all, the Hull game, not a lot really to... It was only 2 weeks ago. Obviously, Hull got better things on the night, but we don't really need to, other than let the team watch that game again, and they'll know what they need to put right, Carol.
Yeah, there's a bit of that. I think we were guilty of overplaying our hands somewhat when we were in Hull last time. And to a certain extent, a little bit of that in Blackburn on Sunday. When the goals stop flowing, you do tend to make too many passes. You're trying to find, trying to thread the needle far too often, trying to find the perfect goal. When really you just need a couple of scruffy ones, let's face it. So let's hope we've learned that particular lesson from Hull a couple of weeks ago. I am still a little concerned that this game comes so quickly after the last one. That wasn't a pleasant game, and I'm quite sure there's going to be a few overspills, shall we say, from that game. I hope not, but it is only 2 weeks ago, and it wasn't like I say, it wasn't a pleasant game to watch. Let's hope a few people have learned the lessons from that game. I won't hold my breath, and let's hope the catering has improved, because the chips were rubbish.
And the chips being below par affected the quality of the chip spice, which is, the only reason to go to the cafe in Hull Arena.
Exactly.
Yeah. More on that next week. We'll give a special report. Do you know anything on Hull before we focus on Sheffield?
Yeah, just kind of sentiment what Carol was saying there. Obviously, the few and savoury moments. I mean, I don't think the cheap shot on the captain is going to get forgotten about.
Nope.
I don't think it will. I hope from our point of view, we do it one of two ways. We make him fight at the first face-off, because he refused 3 players at the time. He refused a couple of guys. But I hope start of the game, if he gets asked, he goes, and we move on from it, and that's it. It's done. He's done his thing. He's answered the bell, or whatever you want to call it. We move on and we play our game, or we ignore it and we deal with it at another time, whether we're 7 or 8 goals up or 7 or 8 goals down, and we'll deal with it then. But we can't let it become the main issue of our game. We've got to play our game, do our thing, and go and win that game, because that's what we're there for. We have to start winning games. But if the lads do want to do what they should for their captain, stand up for him, stick up for him, or whatever it is, for me, it has to be at that first puck drop. If not, let it go, deal with it later, and just get the game won.
Yeah.
That's the only way. But for Carol, I just think, because of it was on our captain, I think it could be an untidy game because of that. And that's my fear.
We shall see how things transpire. That's Hull on Saturday at 5:30 at the Hull Arena, the most versatile. That only does ice events arena. That's Saturday's action. Then Sunday, this is the one we want to focus on. Obviously the hockey as well, but the sideshow to the game on Sunday. Sheffield.
I believe there's an extra supporter travelling to Hull on Saturday.
There is.
Hull, yes, I believe there will be an additional fan in the building.
There is.
And is he then getting thrown onto the ice on Sunday at our place?
Yeah. Billy will be in the building on Saturday, I believe, in Hull.
To see his mate Maverick.
We decided he shouldn't go to Blackburn because he hasn't had all his shots yet. And let's face it, it's not the nicest place to go. But we're letting him out of his cage to go to Hull on Saturday. Yeah,
that'd be fine. I see Maverick came up to the last game up here, didn't he? So,
and for the purpose of clarity, we do not keep bears in cages.
Yes, he was letting out his metaphorical cage. Yes. No, that'd be good to see him out in the wild, as it were.
Yeah, we are sponsored by a vet. We have no animals in cages.
And they're all well looked after and got all their shots and everything. Yes, very good.
Exactly.
You have to time the shots. He just hasn't had them all yet.
Yeah, the ones that were needed to go to the northwest.
Yes.
Very good. Right, and they're having. Did I see something? They're having onesie night or something.
Oh,
Billy
God,
yes, I believe there will be 4. I believe there will be 4 in a onesie. I won't be one of them because I will look like a giant baby.
I
definitely have a onesie.
I definitely won't be one of them because I don't even own a onesie, and I ain't buying one just to go to Hull.
Yeah,
which is quite cool, by the way.
Well, you wear your clothes underneath and just put a onesie on top. Oh,
yeah. I'll put my hoodie back on.
Yeah, that'll do. That'll class it.
That'll do.
Yeah. Very good. Reporter in the wild in a onesie, stroke Woody. Sunday then, 5:30 Forum Ice Arena. It is Sheffield Scimitars making a trip north. The hockey, obviously, important to get the game done and not become the statistic that nobody wants to become in the division. Obviously, we played them down at their place a couple of weeks ago. Comfortable enough. Again, getting the job done on the big ice in Sheffield. Getting them into our barn, Jono, obviously team dependent. We don't know what the squad's going to be. Hopefully, pretty much everybody is going to be available who can be. We should have enough to see off Sheffield on our ice on Sunday.
Yeah, you don't want to beat down too much on Sheffield. It's just an unfortunate situation that they've had this year. But yeah, we've got a professional job to do. We've got to just make sure that we're on it. We don't want to become that first team because I'm pretty sure someone will this season. And touch wood, fingers crossed, it won't be us. The quality's there. Last few weeks, even though results haven't gone our way, it's starting to show. One or two things are starting to click. I mean, if the work rate's there from Sunday in Blackburn, we won't have a problem at all. And I think one or two of them will probably want to get the goal scorer and sticks back and find that goal scoring form that's deserted us so far this year.
Mm-hmm. And Sheffield, Carol, as we said when we played them down at their place, yes, they're part of the orange pyramid now, and the kind of the bottom team leading up to the Steel Dogs, leading up to the Steelers. That kind of happened late in the summer, so they haven't maybe having the full benefit of being part of that system this year. So it's maybe a next year project for Sheffield, but as Jono says, a professional job needed on Sunday from the boys.
Yeah, I genuinely think with Sheffield, given this is the first year proper that they've got this new system in place, I just don't think they've got the balance right this year. That's all. Because the Titans are doing great. Steel Dogs,
Unreal.
They've made some questionable decisions, import netminder, blah blah blah. But the Skims seem to be sat in the middle of what seems to be a Sheffield club that are progressing. And I do think genuinely it's just that they haven't got that balance quite right of where players sit in that pathway.
Yeah.
Give them this season and maybe a little bit of next to sort that out, and I'm sure it will work. So I think Sheffield this season, they're probably looking at it and thinking this is a disaster. I don't think it is. From a development point of view, they're going to learn a whole lot from this year, and given the pathway that they do have, it bodes well for the future. They just need to see that bigger picture, I think, rather than concentrating on one season. Strange enough, probably saying that about ourselves at the minute, just concentrating on the bigger picture rather than where we are right now. Yeah. I'm sure it will come for Sheffield. Hopefully not Sunday, but at some point they are going to upset the apple cart, I'm sure. So we just need to make sure it's not against ourselves. Hopefully we can rediscover that scoring touch. Hopefully we have learned the lessons of the last couple of weeks, because we have been overplaying it. We are trying to score the pretty goals, making too many passes, trying to pass it into the goal when really you want to just be getting those shots in. Hopefully we can do that on Sunday and just turn a little bit of a corner. But for me, Sunday, I know this is going to sound completely against the grain, but Sunday is not about the game for me. Sunday's always going to be about the Teddy toss. I'm sure we're going to talk about it, but Sunday for me is all about what the hockey family is about. And maybe in the last few weeks at least, that's been lost. That message of sort of unity and togetherness and all the rest of it from the hockey family is kind of gone by the wayside. People getting far too tied up with idiots on social media, I think. But for me, Sunday is about the Teddy toss. I want the results. Don't get me wrong. The result is very important.
Yeah.
But the Teddy toss is the best game of the year.
It is. So end of the first period, is when we do it. Obviously, we can't do it when the goal is scored, as they do at other rinks, because of the netting. We can't pull the netting back in like a blink of an eye. So Billingham were the first in our division to do the teddy toss.
Yeah.
And this is number
Whatever
12?
it is from
Is that 12?
the first time we did it was 2012. So count from there.
Yeah, maybe it's 12 if we take the year off for.
Take a year off of COVID, and that's how many years we've done it.
Yeah. So yeah. So I think I put it on my socials this week as well. So if anybody's out this week buying anything for Black Friday or for Christmas presents or whatever, if you can put an extra little toy in your basket, a soft toy, we say a bear, but any soft toy, any brand new soft toy, or if you have a toy, a game, anything, we'll take donations at the table as we do in previous years. But the main thing is if you have a bear or a soft toy, wrap it up in plastic, and then when we give you the green light, we'll tape out the netting. End of the first period, once everybody's off the ice, we don't want any players hit with anything from the stands again, because that would never happen. Wait until all the players and officials are off the ice. We'll tape back the netting. We'll start playing Andrew Roachford. When you hear the cuddly toy song, we'll give you the green light. Air your bears. They'll get collected, and we'll take them to the usual places. I was having a look on the galleries of years gone by when the players go into the hospitals, Carol, and that's always obviously the bear looks great, but then the visits to the hospitals is where the magic really happens.
Yeah, I think what people don't appreciate, they see the photos and that's kind of one part of the story, because going into hospitals before Christmas is a bit of it's perceived to be a bit of a sports team thing anyway. So if you look at some of the local hospitals in our area, they may or may not get a visit from Middlesbrough Football Club, for as an example. Yeah. Now, what people don't really get is that doesn't necessarily happen every year. It's a bit hit and miss, and if we take Middlesbrough Football Club as the example, it might not be the players that go in, it might be representatives from the club. They might just drop toys off at the hospital. Whatever suits the football club at the time, because obviously a professional football club has what other priorities, or they've got an awful lot on, let's say.
Yeah. What
I've been able to witness over the past 13 years or whatever it is that what the staff, the nurses and the kind of the support staff at the hospitals really appreciate is when people like our players take the time out to go into the hospitals and meet the kids, put a smile on their faces just by meeting them and talking to them. And some of them have never seen an ice hockey game in their lives. Some of them have never met an ice hockey player. Some of them probably never will. They might not necessarily care about Billingham Stars or ice hockey or any of that. But what they do appreciate more than you'll ever know is those guys taking the time to go in, sit down, talk to them, give them a gift for Christmas, just make them smile for 5 minutes. You have no idea. I'm actually getting quite emotional talking about it, because I've had the privilege of seeing this for many years now, and it never, ever, ever gets tiring or boring or anything. It's just lovely. It's the loveliest thing. And I think it's important as a community club. We are a community club. We're at the heart of Billingham's community. Billingham doesn't have a hospital that serves just Billingham. We've got North Tees and we've got James Cook that service the Billingham community, and to be able to give something back to those communities it's special. It really is. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate the guys for taking it's usually a morning that we go, just taking those couple of hours to go in and talk to the kids and talk to the parents and they've always got interesting questions because we, usually go in the shirts and who are you? Where do you? What are you doing? And they're always dead keen to know how we're doing and if we've won that weekend I could go on about it for ages. I'm not going to, but it's just so special. It's so special, and every single gift is so appreciated. I've been seeing the same. I usually go to James Cook. In fact, I'm saying I usually go to James Cook. I've gone to James Cook every single year, and it's the same nurses every year, and they look forward to us coming in because of that consistency. Because we always go.
Yeah.
They look forward to us going in. They know us all by name. And I don't know, it does fill me up a little bit. It's just fabulous.
Yeah, no, 100%. And Jono, it's something the Supporters Club have supported for the last few years as well. And as Carol says, it's a really special thing that the club, as Carol says, as a part of the Teesside community, it's a really special thing that the club and its fans and its people can do.
Yeah, I mean, we're not a club with millions and millions of pounds in the bank. So what we do is small scale, and even then, this probably gets taken above the small scale of the amount of donations that we get. Normally, anything between 200 to 300 donations, depending on what it is. So just to be able to say thank you to the community and for all their support, that we can be able to go into a hospital and just make one child smile. I've never been in hospital at Christmas. I've got my own daughter, and okay, she's been poorly and been in a hospital before, and not at Christmas, and that's the most horrible thing. So to have that at the most magical time of the year, when they should be playing out and looking forward to eating loads of chocolates and playing with new toys, and that they can't do that because they're poorly. And so just to give that bit of a smile it's just wonderful, and it's just a little simple give back. It doesn't cost us too much. We don't have to go out of our way by miles or hours of time. It's just something small, something so simple, but it goes a long, long way.
Yeah, I mean, it's talk about being in hospital at Christmas. This is story time. My first Christmas back in 19 or whatever. Yeah, I was actually in hospital at Christmas with a hernia, so I was up in traction at Christmas, and I got a toy which kids aren't allowed to receive anymore because it was a toy that was linked to marmalade.
That toy. Okay, yes. I'm with you.
So that's the toy that I got. And you'll have to tell John he's got a blank look in his face. He's too young.
Way before my time.
Yeah, he's too young. Tell him off air. So yeah. So for my
in the chat
memory,
I'm putting in the chat as we speak.
Yeah. But yeah, and as Carol and John have both said, for the club to be able to do that, we've seen the photos.
Wow.
There'll be more fantastic photos from this year. So if you are coming along on Sunday, if you can bring a cuddly friend, and we'll tell Billy that he is not getting wrapped in cling film and hide on the ice. He's safe, but everybody else is able to throw something on the ice for once.
What I will say on the toy side of it, I don't want to be greedy or cheeky, but please just do have a bearing in mind for probably the 12 to 15-year-olds as well. I know it's the bear and it's all about throwing bears, but there is a few older folk in hospital. I say older folk, older kids. I know a lot of them do, especially the girls, and on the girls side of it, I don't want to get sexist or all that involved, but they don't mind a teddy, but a few of them to probably just have a little think for the 12 to 15-year-olds.
I will just say we've had plenty of teenage boys who've wanted a bear in hospital.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, the good thing about this year as well, we probably will get to take Billy along with us, which I'm sure will add an even bigger smile.
Yeah,
which would be fantastic.
So. Very much so.
Which is all down to our great supporters who managed to help us get Billy over the line. So not only is he a match night thing, we're going to be able to get him out into the community and do a few things and get some of his crazy dance moves on the go and put some smiles on some kids' faces.
100%, that's fantastic. So that's Sunday. So if you're coming along, if you can bring a cuddly toy, or a game or something, anything that you can't throw on the ice, you can leave it with the Will the table be beside you and your guys, Jono? Normally is.
Yeah, everything will be just there. Just go straight to the touch up supporters table. We might try and just squeeze an extra table in somehow or some way.
Yeah.
So it can just be left on the table. If not, it'll just get put behind.
Leave it with Jono and his crew, and we'll make sure that gets taken to the hospitals as well. But yeah, look out for the nets coming back. Roachwood over the tannoy, and then we'll give you the green light to air the bear. So that's Sunday. The Sheffield Scimitars are in town. It is the main attraction. Well, it's not. It's the game, and then the main attraction is the teddy toss. But that's 5:30 face-off as usual. Quickly, other fixtures at the weekend. Obviously, Hull, Billingham on Saturday at 5:30. Telford, Solihull at 6 o'clock on Saturday, and then Widnes, Nottingham. That'll be a tidy one, a reversal of last Sunday. That's Widnes, 7 o'clock on Saturday, and then Sunday, as we say, Billingham against Sheffield. Blackburn have Telford coming into Blackburn on Sunday night. D-side host Leeds, and then the late one, Nottingham and Solihull on Sunday at 7:20-ish in Nottingham. So plenty of action going on this weekend. As I say, if you're coming along to Billingham, 5:30 face-off, doors open the usual time. Hope we can see you for that one. Any other business? Jono, would you like to go forth with your list?
Yeah, it is. Well, it's not one of our last home games before Christmas break, but we do need to start getting Christmas raffle tickets in. So if you want your Christmas raffle tickets, this will be one of your last home games to get them. We've got new merches, the new funnel neck hoodies, I believe they're called. The funnel neck. There's a new hoodie on available, which are absolutely stunning, by the way. So well done to the team for getting those out. They're fantastic. Recommend one of those to anyone. Obviously, you've got your sockies and all your other bits and bobs. But as it is getting close to Christmas, there is a lot of talk about maybe a Black Friday / Christmas sale happening. So keep your eyes peeled, because we might just have a few things on sale come the first home. Well, not the first home game. Well, the first home game for the Christmas period, we'll say.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the games that we've got 30th. Obviously, that's this coming Sunday. We've got 13th and 14th a home doubleheader, Widnes Telford, and then 20th is a Saturday against D-side. So we've got, by my calculation, 1, 2, 3, 4 home games, including this
home
Sunday.
Games, yeah. And one of those home games will be the Christmas draw, So, yes, yeah. Christmas raffle tickets, get them quickly while you can. Like I say, all the funds will go back into the club. It's fantastic prizes available. Obviously, booze. I think the Belfry Golf thing's available again. And obviously, £300 cash prize, which is pretty top notch. Anyone won't turn their nose up to that just before Christmas.
Absolutely. Fabulous job. Carol, anything from yourself, A or B?
Yeah, I've already checked, and we won't be changing our intro music because we don't have anybody living rent-free in our heads. And we won't be talking about any off-ice incidents either, because we have integrity. Thank you.
Thank you. Message received. Just one from me. It was going to be, John mentioned Black Friday. I was just going to we'll try and lighten the mood, because we've had some heavy stuff to talk about this week.
We have.
It was just a Black Friday recommendation from yourselves. Anything? Any films, DVDs? DVDs? Show me age again. Any films, music, podcasts, anything people can jump onto this for this Black Friday?
John was looking stumped. I'll go first. There's a few things that are still. This is not really Black Friday though, because it's just stuff that I've seen that's come out in the cinema that I really fancy. So if you fancy, if you're a bit of a Stephen King buff, which I am, there are a couple of films out that you might want to consider this holiday season. Yeah. A couple of months ago, The Long Walk came out, which it was the first book that Stephen King ever wrote. It is pretty dark. I've heard they've changed the ending from the book, which is a bit disappointing, but regardless, it is an excellent book. So that's the first one, and the second one is it's not a remake, it's the proper version. The Running Man's just come out as well. So if you remember the Arnold Schwarzenegger version, that actually didn't bear much resemblance to the book that Stephen King wrote. So they've actually made a film that's based on the book, and it's got the guy that was in Top Gun Maverick in it. So those are my film recommendations. If you're a bit of a Stephen King fan, go and catch one of those too.
Perfect.
Yeah, the only thing I had come into my mind, and Carol stole it, was Running Man. I do like the look of it. I do remember the original, but the new one just has something about it, I think. So it'll be something I'll be looking forward to getting in front of the TV in the next couple of weeks as we hunker down for Christmas.
All right, excellent. I've got a couple of podcasts. Really, I've started venturing to non-hockey podcasts. Would you believe? The Rest is Entertainment, which is Richard Osmond and Marina Hyde, do 2 episodes a week about all sorts of entertainment things. They were actually talking about Running Man last week because Marina went to interview the guy's name. She went to interview him, and I can't remember his name either, which is good.
It's Glenn something.
Glenn, yeah. And also, I don't know if you watch Ramesh Ranganathan.
Yeah.
He does a podcast with he does 2 episodes a week. He does one with a guest on a Monday, and on a Thursday he does one with his mother, and his mother is hilarious. So if you want to check out the Ramesh Ranganathan show, wherever you get your podcasts, after listening to STARCAST, obviously.
Podcasts, if you want to do one, and a good Don Hockey one as well. Parent in Hell is really good with Josh Widdicombe and Robert Beckett. I believe it is a Spotify sponsored one, so I think it's pretty much primary to them. It is a bit available elsewhere, but primarily all the new stuff comes straight onto Spotify first.
Yeah,
but that's pretty impressive. That's quite a funny one. It's one of my non-sporting ones anyway.
Glenn Powell is the name.
Glenn Powell.
I've just googled it.
Oh, Luke Skywalker's in The Long Walk. Mark Hamill. If you fancy that one. He
gets about a bit as well. He gets himself about. Excellent. Hope that gives some people some things to. We might do a Christmas gift thing in a future one for people who are really desperate.
If we can't get any more goalies on.
We have irons in the fire in the guest front, so I'll update off air to my co-hosts. But for now, I think we'll leave it at that. Running time is look at that. We've talked a bit about things, so thanks to everybody who stuck it out to listen to the end. Saturday, the Hull Arena. Sunday, back at base, the Forum Ice Arena. Sheffield coming to town, but more importantly, it is Teddy Bear Toss. So we hope to see you on Sunday, complete with your furry friend. Thanks for watching. Wherever you watch us, you listen to us, you download us, whatever you do, get sent clips to you by a friend. However you consume your STARCAST content, it is very much appreciated. We'll be back next week, come hell or high water. But for now, thank you to VG Carol, and thank you to Jono. And this has been me, Craig Simpson. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week on STARCAST.
Thank you for watching and listening to STARCAST. Follow us on social media and remember to subscribe and leave a review on your podcast platform.